My name is Isaac Miller. I am a student athlete at Harding University. I played football and track throughout my career and just finally graduated. And I got introduced to the patches halfway through August. And rewind back in my career, I've had 5 upper body injuries, pretty significant injuries, enough to where it kept me out of a lot of games and a lot of meets with sports. And I'm going to be a firefighter in the future, so I've been really concerned about my upper body, not being able to do certain things with mobility, dealing with a lot of pain. And once I started wearing these patches, the first thing I noticed was my sleep. And I've always had trouble sleeping. I dream now, and I never did that. I sleep through the night. And then about 3 weeks later, along with the sleep, I noticed that I had no discomfort in my upper body whatsoever, and I had full range of motion as well, which I have a plate in my arm, so it's kind of weird that I got mobility back in there. And I actually came back stronger too than I had left off previously. And there's been so many things. I took a BMI test right when I started, and then 2 months after, I had put on 7 pounds of muscle, and I had lost 3% body fat. And I'm already on an animal-based diet. I take creatine. I train hard, and the only thing I changed was wearing the patches for that. And another thing is my tendonitis and shin splints in my knees didn't come up one time this track season. And doing triple jump and long jump, that's just bound to happen, but it didn't this year. And I'm really thankful for that. And I also had an unfortunate event in the long jump pit, stepped in a little divot, and I pulled my hamstring pretty bad, hurt to walk, it was bruised up. And in 10 days, I was actually running full speed. And in spring ball 2 years ago when I did that, it took me 6 weeks to get back to full speed. And again, the only thing was the patch. And it's been a huge blessing. I've been blessed to put 24 people on it, and they've all gotten miracles as long as they've given it enough time. And in return, I've been blessed financially. I didn't think I'd have time to do this financially because I'm a student athlete. I work 2 different jobs. It's a lot of time, but I did, and it worked out. So time was not an issue, and I'm able to be blessed financially, and the health benefits are tremendous. If you just look at the 200 patents, the 180 double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical studies that are on it, you'll see what it's doing for your body that you can't see or physically feel, but you can see the changes. And I'm gonna keep doing this the rest of my life. Nothing's gonna stop me from wearing it and sharing it. So yeah.
All right, tell me what happened, Owen.
Okay, so the past 9 months or so, I've been using the X39 and X49 LifeWave patches, and a big example of how they've helped me is I've been a quarterback the past several years for a spread offense, so we throw the ball quite a bit, and I would struggle a lot with my shoulder and sometimes even my elbow being sore quite a bit, and so I'd have the ice almost every night, use ibuprofen quite often. But once I started using these, pretty immediately, I just felt the recovery process, it was a lot quicker, and I didn't have to ice my shoulder the whole season. And that's a big deal being a quarterback. And so the recovery process was very fast, and I went through the season not being sore. I didn't do anything different. I was throwing the ball the same amount of times. And along with that, my sleep was a lot better, and I think that helped the recovery be even faster too, because I was getting better sleep, and it used to take me around an hour to fall asleep. Now it takes maybe 20 minutes. But not only does it make your recovery faster, it makes your growth faster too. So if you're lifting weights or things of that nature, you're going to get stronger quicker as well. Everything, it's just sped up. And so that's the main thing with me, though, is my shoulder. I didn't have to ice it once.
Hello everybody, my name is Kyle McDonald, and I'm from San Antonio, Texas. And for my testimony, where was I at when I first heard about X39? I had a bad tendonitis in my left knee, and I had a really bad groin injury. My tendonitis, my knee would give out on me when I was in an athletic position. I couldn't really do much without it giving out, and it would throb throughout the day most of the time, like absolutely throbbing, just pain that was just unbearing sometimes. And I'd had to just manage it. And in my groin, it kept me out for 5 months before my senior season, and I had to sit for a long time. And eventually I kind of healed. Going into the season, going into fall camp, I healed a little bit, but I was still uncomfortable. I was still in pain, and I wasn't comfortable out there running around and making shortcuts and jumping around. And then my friend Ty Duggar actually told me about it one day. He said, "Kyle, you should try this little stem cell patch because it's been doing this for my shoulder." And I was like, "Say no more. I don't need to hear anything else." And I was like, I'm desperate and I'm trying anything. So I went to Harding University, by the way, but I put the patch on, and after 1 week of wearing it, I noticed my left knee was not throbbing anymore, and it just wasn't like it wasn't there. And usually it's always there when I'm sitting down, and I noticed that day I was like, dang, my knee is not throbbing. Like, that's crazy. And then my groin, eventually the pain started to subside slowly, and I was able to start making sharp cuts and hard movements that I would usually do without pain. So I continued to wear it, and my knee pain went away, and my groin completely healed. And I also noticed that my sleep was it got a lot deeper because I usually had trouble sleeping, and I had to wake up in the middle of the night a lot of times to pee, maybe once, and then I also would wake up early, like at 3 or 4, and I wouldn't be able to go back to sleep. But I started to sleep deeper. I noticed that my energy levels were off the chart. I started to play 2 positions in my senior year. They asked me to play linebacker, so I was getting double the reps, and I noticed that I was wearing X49 as well, and I could run all day, and I had the most energy that I've ever had in my life. And for anybody out there that's skeptical, for anybody out there that is just questioning it, you should give it a chance because it works. It works for anybody. It works for anybody, for anything. I'm hearing all these testimonials from other people, and it works. It completely does. The research has already been done. There's no reason for you to be closed off about it. Danny says it all the time. I've heard him say it before. The most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. And whoever is questioning it or is on the fence, give it a chance because it works. And I believe that it works. I believe in the technology, and I believe that it was an answered prayer from the Lord when I needed it at the time. I was praying for a miracle. I was praying for something to come through for me, and I didn't know where it was going to come from, but the Lord came through, and Ty came up to me that day and introduced it to me. And now I feel like it's my responsibility to do the same thing for those people that are praying for a miracle as well. So, yeah, thank y'all.
Hello, my name is Ty Duggar. I'm from Searcy, Arkansas, and I play football for the Harding Bisons. And I started using LifeWave patches in August of 2024. My dad introduced them to me. And I had some tightness in my low back in the summer, and he gave me some ice waves. And I wore them for like 2 or 3 nights in a row. And after a couple of days, that tightness had been lingering for a couple of weeks, was completely gone. And so I was sold. I was like, these things really work. So I started wearing the X39 and the X49, and right off the bat, I had a lot more energy, better mental clarity, just sustained energy throughout the day. That was huge for me because I was waking up early a lot, and that was great. And then within the first 2 weeks, my patellar tendonitis in my knees was completely gone. It was bothering me all throughout college. I was taking anti-inflammatories twice a day for it. Completely off those medicines within 2 weeks. And it's just amazing to have that gone. That was something that bothered me a lot for years. I have 2 torn labrums in my shoulders, or a torn in each shoulder. And the pain in my shoulders has reduced immensely. Still not completely gone, but it is reduced a lot. I've been tracking my in-bodies, and from months 4 to month 6, from wearing the patches, my body fat percentage went down 2%, and my muscle mass went up by 2 pounds. So X39 helps with recovery and helps to build muscle. And just another piece of this too is I've been on them for 9 months, and I've made over $6,000, and I've only signed up 14 people. So this thing will grow a whole lot, especially on our team.
without you even having to do a whole lot. So it's just amazing, and financially and physically for your body.
Hello, my name is Jake Duggar, and I've been using the X39 and X49 patches since July of last year. And I heard about them through my dad when he started running the business. And so I was noticing all the benefits that he had been talking about for other people. And I have ulcerative colitis, and at the time it was pretty bad. And I was really needing to get to remission, but my medicine that I was taking wasn't really doing that for me. So I started taking the patches in July, and then fast forward to about December. It's been about 5 or 6 months wearing them, and I'm fully in remission. I was on the same medicine that I was starting with the patches, and the only thing that I could think that caused that remission was X39 and X49 patches. And I noticed a lot of other smaller benefits, like I was getting better sleep and had much better focus, more energy throughout the day. But the fact that it was able to get me to remission for my disease really changed my quality of life. And I'm still using the patches, and I'll continue to use them because I've been in remission since then, and my life's gotten better because of it.
I'm Andrew Miller. I'm a student athlete at Harding University. I play football, and I was introduced to these patches in August last year. A few of the ways it's helped me as an athlete is I sprained my AC joint the summer going into my senior year of high school, and since then had retweaked it multiple times. Basically, it had never stopped nagging me. All the way up until really this spring, I started noticing that I did not have any more pain in my shoulder anymore. And so any type of overhead press stuff would really aggravate it before, and now I can do all of that pain-free. So that's been huge. Soft tissue injuries have little tweaks here and there. Strains have always kind of been an issue. I'm having way less of those, and the ones I do have heal significantly faster. Just at the end of the spring, I kind of tweaked my quad, and less than 3 weeks later, I was fully healed and ran the fastest flying 10 time I've ever run. So body heals back quicker and stronger. I have muscle deformity in my left quad, which has kind of been an issue on that leg for soft tissue injuries in my hip flexor and quad. And I've actually had no problems with that quad at all since I've been wearing these patches. And the LifeWaves have been a huge help. With any soft tissue injury, just kind of finding that spot that makes it feel the best and heals it quicker and relieves quite a bit of pain.
Hello, my name is Easton Miller. I am the Strength and Athletic Performance Coach at Mount Dora Christian Academy, located in Central Florida near Orlando, Florida. I got on LifeWave about 9 months ago, and I heard about it from my dad, who heard about it from my uncle, Dr. Joe Duggar, who is the person I trust the most when it comes to the medical field for me. I was a college athlete. I played football for 5 years and then went straight into just training really hard mixed martial arts for some time. So my body was pretty beat up after playing in college and then going over to another brutal sport right after. I had a bucket handle meniscus tear when I was a sophomore at Harding University and have had lots of knee pain and struggle with mobility in the lower body in that section for some time. I've had a bulging disc injury that I received from overtraining too much during the COVID time, and I had to have 2 pretty major injections to help make sure that I could be able to play football at the level I wanted to. And just in and out of health issues, and after getting done with football and going into the MMA training, I still experienced quite a bit of discomfort in both of those areas, a lot more in my back. I really love to lift heavy still, and I really love to back squat and deadlift. And for about a year, I could not do either of those. I had to front squat, and that was the only thing I could do when I wanted to challenge my lower body in a heavy muscular and neurological way. So when I got on X39, I took about 4 weeks before I really started to try to lift heavy again, and I felt good every single time. So I put myself on a program with a good bit of time, probably about 6 to 8 weeks of training before I wanted to test myself and see where I was at strength-wise. At the end of the program, I tested myself, and going off of my old maxes from college when I was at my strongest, I went up 15 pounds on my bench press, I went up 35 pounds on my back squat, and I went up 60 pounds on my trap bar deadlift. And in all of those lifts now, especially the upper body lifts, I really just don't have a lot of fatigue and soreness the day after, especially when I do 85 to 87% of my back squat or deadlift max. I wake up the next day and don't have pain or discomfort. Used to, if I did that, I would feel it about 5 days, and it just really wasn't fun, and it made it to where I didn't want to do that anymore. That's why I only front squatted for so long. I've seen improved athleticism with my jumping and my speed as well. I'm hitting about 21 miles per hour when I'm timing my fly 10s. I was never that fast in college, unfortunately. I hit 35 inches on my vertical jump, which is the highest vertical I've ever hit since I was in college. And I've been really happy about those results as well. Even though I'm not an athlete who competes, I still like to make sure that I can do the drills that I want my athletes to do, and knowing that I can still do them at a high level makes me pretty happy. I've seen increase in energy levels in myself. I get up about 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning, and yet I still have the energy to make it through an entire day without taking any kinds of caffeine or pre-workout. I've also just seen improved sleep for myself. I track my sleep on my watch, and I get about 8 to 7 hours every night. So when it comes to just how LifeWave has helped me in my life, it has definitely helped me just being able to feel the best I've ever felt. I'm the strongest I've ever been. And thankfully, just as far as stress and all those things go, you know, a lot of it depends on how my lift goes some mornings. And so when I have good lifts and I feel good, it usually helps the rest of the day feel good for me. If you're an athlete who is thinking about getting into this, I would definitely recommend it. I wish I had it when I was an athlete. I wear X49 now as well, and I've seen lots of increases in my energy and performance when it comes to the weight room. My cardio has improved a lot. I can run a lot further than I could, and I'm not a distance person at all. So if you were wanting to get into it as an athlete, I would definitely recommend it. As a coach, I would love for my athletes to get into it as well. And it can definitely be life-changing. You have to put in the work, you have to eat right, you have to sleep right, but you will get the results that you want out of it if you start taking it right now and taking control over your fitness.